Let's actually start in tabletop pose since we were chatting. We can get right into it so that we have enough time to relax at the end. I definitely don't want to cut that short. So we'll get into tabletop whenever you're ready and have your block towards the top of your mat. And once you are in tabletop pose, spread your fingers wide apart, create a little bit of space there. And then start by tucking your toes under. And with your toes tucked under, then start to send your seat a little bit closer towards your heels. And of course, you can keep your head up, right? So the weight of your head isn't just hanging down. You can like look straight ahead. As you send your seat back, you get that little stretch in the toes, maybe in the bottom of the foot. If you want to like rock side to side, for me, that's a nice little stretch of the feet that can often feel good. And then rock back forward and slowly start to tip your heart forward here. So untuck your toes if you can, rather. And then slowly lower all the way down to your belly. And then you can keep your head lifted. You don't have to drop it down. But I want you to take your hands out a little wider, tent them. So the pads of your fingers press down, and then stack your elbows over your wrists here. Start to lift your chest up. So a nice wide cobra. And then as you do that, press the tops of your feet down. So think about your big toes connecting to your mat. Take one more breath in, maybe find a little bit of movement, one shoulder forward than the other. And then lower down to your degree. Hands under your shoulders, press back to hands and knees. Take a breath in to then drop your belly and lift your chest up, cow pose. And then exhale, round your back. You can just look straight in between your thumbs and still press your upper back up towards the sky. So you spread that space apart in between your shoulder blades. Awesome. And then come back to neutral. Walk your hands back and up your thighs. You'll rise up onto your knees. Take your hands to your low back or to your hips here. And your thumbs will point in, your other fingers will point forward. Start to hug your elbows back a little and then lift your chin, lift your face. You can get that little bit of a stretch in the front of your body and then come back to neutral. So nice. And then step your right foot forward, coming into a lunge. Reach both hands up on an inhale. And then the famous move here, your right hand, can you wrap it around your left wrist and then lean over to the right? So just find a nice stretch there, create a little more space. And you'll come back up. So nice. And then just bring your right knee next to your left. Step your left foot forward. So you're switching sides. Hands will reach up on an inhale. Now you're grabbing your right wrist and tipping over to the left. More like self-assist here to lengthen that right side. And come all the way up. Your left knee comes to meet the right. Step your right foot back forward here. Reach your hands all the way up. Take a breath in. And then your left hand goes forward, right hand goes back. You'll twist to the right a little bit. Now you'll drop your right hand down towards your thigh, your back thigh here, and reach your left hand up to the sky. It's a little play with balance, but also a different way to stretch that left side. And start to bring your left hand down then inside your right foot. Your right hand can come to your right knee or to your thigh, and then just start to twist from here. So a different way to twist. You can look over to the right. Maybe start to look up towards the sky. If you want a little more, right hand will rise. One more big breath in. Reach your right hand back forward and set it down on the ground. Now tuck your back toes and lift that knee up. You're going to spin that heel down just to rise up to warrior two. So not folding forward, just coming up to standing. Bending through the right knee a little more. Soften the shoulders. Full breath in. Full breath out. We're going to move through two different shapes just to build a little bit of heat, just a little. You're going to take a breath in to straighten the legs and reach the arms up overhead. So that's your inhale here. And then as you exhale, bend back down to your right knee, warrior two. So that's your exhale. Do that 2 more times. Inhale, straighten the legs, reach up. Exhale, sink back, warrior two. So nice. 1 more. Inhale, rise. Exhale, sink. Inhale to rise. Parallel the feet. We won't fold forward here. Just bring your hands to your hips. And then like you did when you were on your knees, bring your elbows back behind you. So again, your thumbs point back, fingers wrap forward, but then you lift your chest up. So again, opening up through the collarbones, through the front of the throat. And come back to neutral. Now just step to the front of your mat, nothing super fancy. You can take your arms down on your sides, maybe roll the shoulders. A little bit of movement there. And shift your weight into the left foot here. And your hands can come to your hips to start. Start to pick your right knee up, hip height. So creating that little bit of a right angle with the leg. And if you feel wobbly, that's totally fine. Bring your right big toe to the ground. And so a little bit of play with balance and a twist. Reach your hands up, both hands. Left hand goes forward, right hand goes back. If you want, left hand outside the knee, maybe to deepen the twist and look over to your right. So nice. And then reach both hands up. Maybe press the heel forward for a moment and set the foot back down. Mountain pose, palms face forward, shrug your shoulders, breathe in. Big exhale out. Do that 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale, let them relax. Take a breath in, reach your hands up. Now a big step back with the left foot, coming into a high lunge. You're not here long, but right hand takes a hold of that left wrist and you'll tip over to the right. So just like the highest pathway here, right? We started on the ground and then you'll come back up. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Can you bend that back knee to allow it to arrive back on your mat? Your right knee comes to meet the left. Hook your thumbs overhead, take your elbows wide. You'll lift your chest, lift your face. And then release, come to tabletop pose. If you want a round of cat-cow, take that. Take any additional movement that you need. Maybe it's lateral movement, side to side. And then you'll come back to the other side. So you walk your hands back, up your thighs, rise up onto your knees, and step your left foot forward into your lunge. A breath in to reach the hands up. A breath out, right hand goes forward this time, left hand goes back. You twist. And then you'll drop the left hand down. Reach the right arm up, creating that length in the side body again. And you'll come back to that twist, that open arm twist. Now it's your right hand that drops down. Now, if you want that hand on a block, didn't offer it this on the other side, but it's really nice sometimes to bring that block into your hand to create a little more space to twist. That left hand can start on your knee, on your thigh. Maybe you just start by looking to your left elbow. Maybe that's where you stay and you twist from there. If you want a little more, left hand, reach it up to the sky. Take one more big breath in. And then reach your left hand down, land it inside your foot. And start to tuck the back toes. You'll lift the knee up. You'll spin that heel down, rise up to warrior two. So arms are nice and long. You create a little bit of heat, a little more strength in that front leg. And then we move. Inhale to straighten the legs, reach the arms up. Exhale to sink you back down, warrior two. Two more like that. Inhale, with your own breath, you rise. And exhale, you sink. Last one, breathe in to rise. Exhale to sink. Now this time you rise, but parallel the feet, face the long edge of your mat. Hands catch your hips, elbows back, lift your chest, lift your face. And then you slowly come back to neutral and just step to the top of your mat. Again, take a roll of the shoulders, maybe a roll of the wrists, roll of the neck. And when you're ready, stand up nice and tall, reach the hands up and overhead for a moment. And then bring your hands to your hips. So you're creating that length, keep it, and you'll shift the weight into the right foot. Maybe bring that left knee hip height. Need to play with balance a little. Then reach both hands back up. Right hand goes forward, left hand goes back. You twist. That right hand might even catch the knee. If you wobble and fall, that's fine. So nice. Now reach both hands up, face the front. Maybe even press that left heel forward for a moment. And then set both feet down. And take a little bit of like I've heard this before, like a washing machine sort of draping of the arms, letting them swing side to side. Just to rinse all that out. And start to slow it down as you come to stillness in mountain pose. Palms face forward. One time to just shrug the shoulders as you breathe in. And a big exhale to let them go. Soften them down your back. And you'll shift the weight into the left foot. And you'll take a big step back with the right, landing in a high lunge. So you'll reach your hands up overhead. And then one last time, it's left hand grabbing your right wrist. And lean over to the left. Come back up through center. You'll slowly bend that back knee until it meets your mat. And then left knee comes to meet that. Hook thumbs overhead, elbows wide, lifting the chest, lift the face. And then walk your hands back to tabletop pose. One round of cat-cow here. Take a breath in to lift the heart. And a breath out to round the back. Add in anything else you need. And meet me in a seat when you're ready. And if you want to sit up on your pillow just to elevate your hips, we're going to be here for just a second. Well, just a second, a few seconds, like maybe a minute or so, just to do a little bit of pranayama or breathing exercises. I know like you might have a little bit of congestion. This hopefully will help. So once you find yourself in a nice comfy seat, whatever that looks like for you, go ahead and place your hands on your knees for a moment to sit up nice and tall. And so just breathe normally, or whatever your normal is for today, whether that's through your mouth, through your nose. Just take a breath in and a long breath out. Do that one more time. Breathe in and out. And so if you are experiencing like this congestion in your nose, a nice breathing technique that can sometimes get things like moving around a little bit more is called Brahmari breathing. So they call it like bee breath. And it's stimulating that nasal cavity by making a humming sound. And so we may or may not have done this before, but what you can do if you want to try it on, I won't make the humming noise like in your ears, right? But because I have my like headphones so close to my mouth, but what you can do is you'll sit up nice and tall and you'll take that breath in through your mouth, close your mouth, and then just start to hum. Like if you were to go, like getting to that point where you feel that humming sensation actually start to vibrate in your nasal cavity, and play around with it a bit. And it's almost like you're making an om sound, closing your mouth, and then that humming starts to vibrate. And if it's not your jam and you're like, no, this is not what my body needs right now, this is not what I would like to do, this is not calm me down, by all means, just take a like slow, intentional breath in and a slow, even slower breath out. So Brahmari breath can actually calm you down, right? And something I also do with kids as well, like a nice humming breath. It's like creating sound on your exhale. Be a little bit soothing. So just play with that a few more rounds on your own. See if it just creates like just a little bit of movement. Obviously, it's like very small. It's not like, unfortunately, it won't be like an amazing sort of relief right away if you have that congestion happening, but it can be enough, just a little bit of enough to get things moving just a little bit more. Once you complete your last round of breath, take one more inhale, long exhale. So nice. And you can set yourself up for your Shavasana, your end relaxation. If you'd like to be propped up, because lying down is like, will maybe trigger a cough or just doesn't feel good, you can create this little ramp. If you have your yoga block here or two pillows, You can take your block either on the lowest setting or the medium setting. That's really nice. And then you take your pillow and you just create this little bit of a ramp. So you have an elevated section to then take your whole spine onto that pillow and your head rests right on top of the block. So you have that nice little ramp to lie down on. So you're not completely flat on your mat. And you can either keep your legs long or bend your knees, whatever feels better for your sacrum, for your low back. Let your palms flip up and allow the back of your hands to rest on the ground wherever it feels good for you. So if you feel like you want more chest opening, maybe that becomes a little more of an active stretch with your arms out wide. If you want a little less, you can bring the elbows closer to the body. And if it feels okay, you can soften the gaze. Let the eyelids become heavier. You might even close. Arrive just as you are. Allow the breath to be as natural as it can be. Flow in and out. And give yourself that permission to just land, to rest, to pause in your day. And then again, take a slow, intentional breath in. An even slower, longer breath out. And just start to find some gentle movement in the fingers and toes. Let that movement then travel to your wrists, to your ankles, maybe to your head and neck. And gently, if you're on that ramp underneath you, you'll just take your knees off to the side and press yourself up and find a seat. And sit up nice and tall here. If you'd like, you can even bring your hands together in front of your heart. Take a breath in and out.